Center as we get ready for Gold Ball Night here in the 69th annual Seven Hills Rotary Christmas Basketball Tournament. I'm Matt Davis to bring you the play-by-play story of tonight's championship games, and I think we're going to get a couple of good ones. Really looking forward to it. Tip-off of our first game, which is the girls' championship, is about 8 minutes and 15 seconds away, and you're joining us live tonight on WLAQ 96.9 FM, 1410 AM, or online at WLAQ1410.com. And also, we're providing our commentary for the live stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media. So we've got you covered in a variety of ways tonight, and we are super fired up about the broadcast and about the games, and just glad to be with you. But the first game is going to pit the Rome Lady Wolves against the Model Lady Blue Devils, so a classic matchup here for a gold ball game. A lot of gold ball history between these two teams, and so right out of the gate, I'll go ahead and tell you the total of gold balls that each of these teams have. The Rome Lady Wolves have 12 in their history dating back to 1992. They won it the first year as a school. They won it in 93. Then from 03 to 07, they won it 5 times in a row. Won it in 09, in 2010, 2017, 2020, and 2021. So they've gone back to back. They're looking for a three-peat tonight. Gold ball history for the Model Lady Blue Devils, well, it runs deep as well. They've got 14 dating back to 1977. They won it in 77, I believe 78 and 79, 86, 88, 94, 95, 97, 99, 2008, 11, 15, 16, and their last was in 2018. So when I say it's a classic gold ball matchup, well, I certainly mean it. These two teams have a rich history playing in this tournament and having great success. So this is the kind of matchup, obviously, the fans go crazy over, as evidenced by the fact that we've got a packed house here tonight. I see Nathan there on the video stream. They're panning the cameras right now, looking at the crowd, which is sure to grow as we go along throughout the broadcast tonight. People still filing into the gym, getting ready for this exciting matchup, which again begins in about 6 minutes and now 15 seconds away. So what we're going to do on our radio broadcast is we're going to take a 3-minute break. We're going to come back and we'll start to tell you more about this matchup, how these teams got to this point of the tournament, and all that good stuff. But we're glad to have you with us tonight. Again, listening to live radio coverage on WLAQ and live video coverage provided by Northwest Georgia Media. We'll send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. We'll be back on the broadcast. Back in, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the live stream and also radio coverage of the 69th Annual Christmas Tournament presented by the Seven Hills Rotary Club, and, of course, a fundraiser that all the money goes back to the kids, and they're going to get a lot of it because it's been well attended over the last several days. Of course, the tournament concludes today at Barry's Cage Center, and we are about 2 minutes and 12 seconds until the start of the Girls Championship. Let's talk about the matchup a little bit more. As far as the tournament path to get to the championship game, we'll start with the Rome Lady Wolves. They would open up their tournament play on Saturday with a 64-23 victory over Unity. They would follow that up with a victory yesterday over at Armurchie High School in the new gym, a 9-point win over Darlington. 49-40 was the final score in that game. Jeremiah Winston had 11 points, 10 points for Seda Williamson in that game, and the leader for Rome in that game was Brianna Griffin, as she often is, with 14 points. Meanwhile, in the tournament play for Model, it was a 55-35 win over Chattooga on Friday for Model, and then they would defeat Armurchie, of course, crosstown rival there, 47-25 on Saturday. So both of these teams essentially have cruised to victory in a couple of games, although the Rome game against Darlington was fairly close yesterday. It did feel like much of that game that Rome was in control of that game. So we should have a really good matchup on hand for this particular game, and really looking forward to it. As far as the season is concerned for these two teams, well, they're both having great seasons so far with identical 6-3 regular season records. So the Rome Lady Wolves 6-3. They are a 6-6A. That is their region. They're 1-1 in region play. Meanwhile, Model is 6-3 and 1-2 in Region 7AA. Rome is averaging about 60 points a game on defense. They only give up about 39 points. Meanwhile, Model, 50.6 points per game they score, giving up just about 36. So again, I think these teams match up pretty well, and we should have a great game here to open things up. A little bit later on this evening, we're going to turn our attention to the boys' gold ball game, and that's going to be a rematch of last year's game, and so there will be no love lost in that matchup. Those two teams are really going to get after each other, but it's going to be the Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils. So we've got a lot of blue in the house tonight, no doubt about it, with both the girls and boys teams playing here tonight, and a lot of red as well here with Rome getting ready to play Model. And as the night progresses, we're going to see a lot of purple file in. So it's going to be a colorful night here tonight inside Barry's Cage Center. Well, we're about to have the national anthem here in just a couple of moments, and we'll give you the starting lineups for both of these teams. Both of these teams extremely well coached. Of course, Rome Lady Wolves is coached by Thomas McAvoy, who's doing a fantastic job with this team. And the Model Lady Blue Devils, of course, longtime head coach Sally Eccles, a Rome Floyd Sports Hall of Famer. So it's going to be a great night of basketball again from Barry's beautiful campus and the Cage Center, and we welcome you to the broadcast. As we get ready to go here, do want to take a moment to recognize the video crew tonight. Grayson Atkins and Kayla Bice are on the cameras. Scoreboard and graphics tonight, Uta Patterson, and director and replay guy tonight is Nathan Patterson. And, of course, Lynn Butler back at the radio studio for us tonight at WLAQ. And, again, I'm Matt Davis with the play-by-play story of both games. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and give you the starting lineups for tonight's game. We're going to start with the Model Lady Blue Devils. Already mentioned to you, Sally Eccles, the head coach, and we'll start with they just announced Addie Mathis in the starting lineup, but she's not one of the starters, so I noticed Coach Eccles looked over at the PA announcer and kind of shook her head, and now they're going to have to go ahead and correct that. So I'll go ahead and give you the starters for Model. I've got them right here. Number 4, Julia Shinholster, a junior. Number 14, Rachel Burkhalter, a junior. Number 20, Morgan Wood, a senior. Number 21, August Betts, a sophomore. And then number 30, Sadie Rotten, a sophomore. And that rounds out the starting lineup here for the Model Lady Blue Devils. We'll get you ready to give you the Rome Wolves starters here in just a couple of moments as we get ready for game time to start here in just moments. And we're pretty close to on time. This game was originally scheduled to start at 7 o'clock, only running behind about 6 minutes, which is really, when you think about tournament play, there were consolation games that took place before this game. We get in the championship round, so the fact that we're only running 5 or 6 minutes behind is a Christmas miracle if you ask anybody that organizes tournaments like this. Let's give you the Rome starters. We'll start with number 2, Jeremiah Winston. She's a sophomore. Number 4, Seda Williamson, a senior. Number 10, Ashanti Bowers, a junior. Number 13, Caitlin McAvoy. She is a senior. And then number 21, a junior, Brianna Griffin. And that rounds out the starting lineup for the Rome Bulls. Again, their head coach is Thomas McAvoy. And we're just about ready to go. One more note I'll mention to you about both of these teams. Mentioned to you identical season record so far at 6-3. They're both riding 4-game win streaks and a lot of momentum coming into this basketball game, playing very confident basketball. And again, there's just a lot of things pointing to that this could be a really, really exciting basketball game for the fans that paid their admission tonight to come in and check it out. And guess what? With that said, it's go time. In just a little bit, we're going to know who's going to hoist the gold ball out of the girls' bracket this year. It all comes down to this, folks, and we are ready to roll. Brianna Griffin and August Betts in the circle to tip this thing off. And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the ball game. The tip-off is going to go to Morgan Wood. She'll bring it out of the backcourt. Model's got the ball. They work it to the left wing side, and Sadie Rotten looks around, kicks it back up to the top of the key. As Shinholster sets up the offense, she goes down towards the low block, leaves it off for Betts off the glass and in. And opening up the scoring is going to be the Model Lady Blue Devils. It's 2-0. 7:38 left to go, just underway from the Cage Center. Rome with the ball. They heave it down low. Nobody picked her up, but she missed the layup. The putback won't go either, and Sadie Rotten's there for the rebound. Here comes Model back the other way with it. Morgan Wood, cross-court pass underneath is going to be knocked loose, and Rome's going to come out with the ball. Brianna Griffin got her hands in there, poked it loose to a teammate. Now Rome goes the other way and quick. They fire it left down the low block. Shot's going to be missed, and it's out of bounds on Rome. It's coming back to Model. 2-0. Model on top after scoring the first basket of the game. Rachel Burkhalter will toss it in. One of the things you'll see a lot from Rome tonight is they like to press, so that's something that Model's going to have to work on trying to get around if they're going to be successful in this game. They do a good job there. They get it to August Betts underneath. Kick out to left wing side to Rotten. Shots on the way. A long one. It's missed. Rebound goes to Rome. Here comes Brianna Griffin with it across the center court. Stripe down the low block. Flings it towards the basket. It's a miss. Now they've got the rebound. Shot attempt is blocked. They kick it out around the perimeter. Wide open three-point look, and she drills it. Ashanti Bowers with the first points for Rome. It's 3-2. Rome on top by 1. 6:30 left to go in the opening quarter. Here comes Rachel Burkhalter for Model down the other side of the floor. Leaves it off for Rotten. She picks up her dribble, fires it out to Shinholster. A wide open long-range three, in and out. Morgan Wood with the rebound and the putback. Doesn't make the shot, but she draws the contact, and we're going to see Morgan Wood going to the free throw line shooting too. Foul's going to be on Sada Williamson. Her first personal, team first as well, and the shot's on the way. It is through. So Morgan Wood knocks down a free throw that ties up the ball game at 3 apiece. Wood standing up there with one more free throw to go here of the pair. Gets ready to shoot, ball on the way, and it is also good. Makes them both. It's 4-3, Model on top. Rome will bring it out. Winston brings it up the floor across the timeline, kicks it out. There's Brianna Griffin around the perimeter. She dribbles towards the top of the key, leaves it off for Bowers. Ball's knocked loose. Model's got it. Shinholster to Wood. Defense will drop back. Burkhalter takes the pass across court, goes down low, kicks it out to Betts underneath. Misses the shot. The rebound's going to go to Rome. Coming out with it, Sada Williamson. Here's a cross-court pass over to the left wing side. Rome's got it to the low block, and she goes in and lays it in. Nobody picked her up as she was going into the lane, and Jeremiah Winston is able to pick up a pretty easy layup there. August Betts on the other end, loses the handle. Bowers comes out with it across the timeline. Rome working left to right. They kick it out to the right wing side, long-range three. That one's over the rim. Burkhalter's there for the long rebound over on the right side. Ball's knocked loose. Griffin comes out with it. A whistle and a foul's going to be charged. Foul's going to be on Julia Shinholster on Model. So we'll see. Well, I thought the foul was on Model, and okay, yeah. Rachel Burkhalter was standing there to inbound the basketball, but the foul was on her teammate Shinholster. Now they got it sorted out. Bowers looking for somebody to inbound the basketball to here for Rome. They'll inbound on their side of the floor to Brianna Griffin. Dribbles it once, puts up the three-point shot, bangs hard off the back of the rim. Ball's going to stay with Rome, though, after a battle. Ball's loose on the floor, and we're going to have a jump ball. Alternating possession arrow is pointing in Rome's direction, so Ashanti Bowers is set to trigger it in from the baseline. Rome will have it on their end of the floor. If you're listening on the radio, I'll go ahead and describe to you that Rome has on their white uniforms with red letters, numbers, and trim. Also has some gold involved in it. There's Brianna Griffin going in, trying to shoot, and gets fouled. So we're going to see Griffin go into the free throw line. Sadie Ronton with the foul. Now Rome at the free throw line. We'll get ready for the first free throw here. Shot is on the way from Brianna Griffin. That one rattles out. So she'll get ready for her second free throw. She's actually missed 3 in a row to start the game. 5:05 left to go in the first quarter. Rome is leading it by 1 point. 5-4 is your score. Shot on the way. That one's through. She knocks one down. That makes it a 6-4 game in favor of Rome. Burkhalter's got it. Cross-court pass to Shinholster. Goes in. One-on-one. Shot off the glass is a miss, but she draws the contact. We're going to see Julia Shinholster going to the free throw line. Shoot 2. Her first trip to the stripe. Model's been to the charity stripe one other time here in the first quarter. Morgan Wood knocked down 2 in a row earlier in the game. So we've got just under 5 minutes to play and a 6-4 ball game in favor of Rome. And the free throw's going to clank hard off the front of the rim. Checking into the game for Rome is going to be Javia Gooch, the senior. Checking out is Seda Williamson. One more free throw coming up here for Shinholster. Dribbles a couple of times. Gets ready. Ball's on the way, and it is going to rattle in. She makes one of the pair, and that cuts it to a 1-point ball game. Ashanti Bowers will bring it up the floor for Rome. Across the timeline she goes, and the Viking head at center court. Dribbles off to the right wing side between her legs. Starts to drive. Now she goes back out, and that is going to be an offensive foul to the delight of Coach Eccles and the Model bench. Model's going to get the ball, trailing by 1 point. Burkhalter feeds it into the backcourt and to Morgan Wood. Now on to Shinholster. Tosses it back to Wood. Across the center court stripe. Huge crowd on hand for this basketball game, but nobody that follows this tournament is the least bit surprised by that, because there's always a huge crowd no matter who's playing, but particularly with the matchups that we've got tonight. They're going to try to feed it down low. One pass too many. It's picked off. Here comes Rome quickly the other way. Griffin, and she knocks it home. Brianna Griffin now with 3 points. Rome with a 3-point lead. 8-5 your score. Rome and Model playing in the championship round. Almost halfway through with the first quarter. Shinholster at the high post. Leaves it for Sadie Ronton. She turns, double team, kicks it out to Rachel Burkhalter. She'll back up. And now between the circles, Shinholster will set up the half-court offense here for the Model Lady Blue Devils. Now drives towards the top of the key, picks up her dribble, tries to fire it underneath. A lot of traffic in the lane. The pass is picked off by Rome. Here comes Brianna Griffin bringing it up the floor here for the Lady Wolves. Into the paint she goes, loses the handle, but she's fouled. That foul's on the floor and on Model. So we're going to see Rome inbound the basketball underneath their own basket, leading it by 3 points. Ashanti Bowers set to inbound the basketball. Substitutions for Rome and Model. Checking into the game for Model is Javia Samples. I'll tell you who all's on the floor in just a couple of moments, but set to inbound the ball for Rome is Jeremiah Winston, the sophomore. Gonna have to tuck in her jersey a little bit before we resume. So Winston surveys the floor looking for somebody. Finds the right wing side. Shots on the way, and it's through. That's Mariah Griffin with the basket. Her first of the game, and that increases the lead to 10-5, a 5-point lead for Rome. Ball's going to be knocked off of Rachel Burkhalter. It's coming back to Rome. Getting her hands on it was Jeremiah Winston, and sort of banked it off of Rachel Burkhalter. So the Rome Lady Wolves playing very, very tough defense right now. 3:24 left to go here in the first quarter. And again, Rome is leading at 10-5. Rome will inbound the ball in the backcourt. Bringing it up the floor is going to be Winston, Jeremiah Winston. She tries to dribble around a screen. Shot is up and in. Easy basket for Jemiah Winston. That's her second of the game. 12-5, 7-point lead for Rome. Burkhalter takes the pass from Wood. Now with it is Pointer, who's into the game as a freshman. Model lose control on the other side, and Sally Eccles calls the timeout to rally the troops here. Got to get everybody settled down a little bit. Well, Rome leads at 12-5 with 3 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Let's step out for a 30-second timeout. Pretty slowly here. Jemiah Winston, the sophomore, with it. She'll dribble across center court, working from left to right on your radio dial. Leaves it off for Brianna Griffin. Rome leads at 12-5, a 7-point lead with 2:45 left. There's a 3-point shot for Brianna Griffin. Oh, my. What a good-looking shot that was. Make it 15-5, a 10-point lead for Rome. Model struggling a little bit to get around the press. Morgan Wood speeds up as she goes across center court, kicks it out to Burkhalter for three, leaves that one a little bit short, and there's going to be a foul called. I believe this one's against Rome. It's going to be against Brianna Griffin of the Lady Wolves. And we're going to see Model inbound the basketball from the baseline underneath their own basket with 2:28 left to go here in the first quarter. Model really desperately needs a basket here in this game. They don't want the hole to be dug much deeper here. They want to get some of that momentum back on their side. Rome's doing a fantastic job right now on defense and able to score some points. They're able to steal it away, but that is a travel, so it's going to be with the Model Lady Blue Devils with 2:19 left to go in the first quarter, trailing by 10 points. Burkhalter surveys the floor, looking to inbound the ball. She's going to bounce it in, gives it to Samples, now to Sims. Back out to Morgan Wood, drives towards the free throw line, lobs it up for Pointer off the glass and in. Great play for Model. They find something underneath, and that cuts it to 15-7. We're at the 2:05 mark here of the first quarter. Rome on the other end puts up another three. That one's a little bit offline. Sims gets the rebound, and the Blue Devils will bring it back the other way. Sims picks up her dribble, had a defender all over. Now to Samples, goes right into the paint, off the glass, and it rolls in. Javia Samples with her first basket of the game, and just like that, Models cut it back to a 6-point game, 15-9, Rome on top. 1:35 left to go here in the first period. Brianna Griffin's going to slow it up and set up the half-court offense here for Rome. Drives towards the three-point line at the top of the key, feeds it right. Now they'll dribble into the paint. A kick out to Bowers. She drives the lane, tries to put it towards the rack, misses. Gets blocked, and Model's got the ball. Morgan Wood, a pass was coming from Rachel Burkhalter, didn't turn around in time, and that leads to an easy bucket there for Rome. I believe that was Winston with the basket, and a timeout's going to be called by Sally Eccles and the Model Lady Blue Devils. Let's take one as well. 1:09 left to go in the first quarter. Rome 17, Model 9. It's the gold ball game in the girls bracket. We're back in 30 seconds. We resume and get a layup from Briley Sims. Her first basket of the game at 17-11. A 6-point ball game with officially 1 minute to go here in the first quarter of play. Glad you're with us tonight on the live stream and the radio coverage. Nearly a cross-court pass down to Griffin. Mariah Griffin now back around to Brianna Griffin. A three-point shot is jacked up, missed. Briley Sims is going to pull down the rebound. She's fouled. That's going to be on Rome. And we'll see Model inbound the basketball. That's going to be on number 3, Javia Gooch, her first of the game. 4th team foul for the Rome Lady Wolves as we get ready for Javia Samples to inbound the basketball here for Model. It's going to be full court press here from the Rome Lady Wolves, something they're certainly known for doing. Sims has got it. It's going to bring it across center court. Ball's not loose. The press is effective, but just like that, Model gets the ball back. Burkhalter's got it. She drives towards the lane. A bounce pass underneath the pointer. That goes over the rim. Burkhalter gets the rebound, goes for the putback. Can't get the basket, but she does get fouled, draws the contacts going to the free throw line. So Rachel Burkhalter going to the stripe for the first time here in the basketball game. 32 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. Rome leading it by 6, 17-11 if you just tuned in. Shot on the way, and that one's through. Model's done a good job from the free throw line here in the first quarter, and that certainly helped them stay in this basketball game. They've made 4 free throws so far in the game. Burkhalter at the line. Next free throw's on the way. That one's going to roll off the rim. And the ball rolls out of bounds. It was last touched by Rome, so it's going to stay with the Lady Blue Devils. So Burkhalter set to trigger things in motion here on offense. A bounce pass is going to go to Samples, loses the handle, it bounces out of bounds. So that'll be a turnover for the Model Lady Blue Devils. It's coming back to the Rome Lady Wolves. It's been a fun tournament so far. It's one of those things, you get a ton of basketball for several days, and then it feels like the thing comes to a screeching halt. But it sure has been a fun ride throughout the process, and I want to take this opportunity to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Baseline drive, they kick it back out. There's Bowers trying to feed it down low to Brianna Griffin, gets away from her and goes out of bounds, so it's coming back to Model. It's a 5-point ball game right now. Rome leads it 17-12. They led it by 10. I think that's the largest lead they've had so far in the basketball game. Right now on the floor for Model, you're going to have Briley Sims, Sadie Rotten, also Tamaya Ragland, who just fed it to Rotten, Rachel Burkhalter, Javia Samples. For Rome, you've got Brianna Griffin, Ashanti Bowers, also Jeremiah Winston, as well as Mariah Griffin. And I'll catch the other number here in just a couple of moments. Number 23. Shot at the buzzer is going to be missed, and that's the end of the first quarter. So, folks, at the end of a quarter of play, Rome 17, Model 12, a 5-point ball game. We'll be back for the start of the second quarter after a 1-minute timeout. We start your second quarter. Rachel Burkhalter with the basketball as Model opens up with possession, trailing by 5 points after a quarter of play. Here's Morgan Wood. That one's going to be in and out, rattles off the rim. Rebound's going to be taken by Rome. Ashanti Bowers takes the cross-court pass right to the low block, tries to feed it across the lane. It's picked off by Model. Here come the Lady Blue Devils back the other way. Burkhalter across the court to the left wing side, wide open. Sadie Rutten, and she drills it. Oh, my, what a play and what a shot. 17-15, it's a 2-point ball game just like that. Man, what a sequence. 7:19 left to go in the second quarter. Here's Rome on the other end. Brianna Griffin's got the basketball at the top of the key, goes around a pick, dribbles right to the low block, easy layup. Nobody picks her up underneath. So Brianna Griffin now with 8 points, and that makes it a 4-point ball game, 19-15. Here's Morgan Wood on the other side, flings it across to Rotten, wide open three. That's off the front of the rim. Wood's there to try to clean it up, misses the shot. Another shot, this time a make by Julia Shinholster. She's got 3 points in the game, and it's a 2-point ball game, 19-17 with 6:41 remaining here in the second quarter. Across the timeline goes Winston. He's going to leave it off for Ashanti Bowers, being guarded right now by Morgan Wood. Now leaves it off for Brianna Griffin. Griffin between the circles. Works around a pick, kicks it right. There's a wide open 3-point shot, in and out. Julia Shinholster's there for the board. Leaves it off for August Betts. Feeds off to Sadie Rotten. Stops. Tries to get it down low. The pass is going to be picked off by number 13, McAvoy. Here comes Rome the other way. A 3-point look. That one's way off the mark and goes out of bounds. It's coming back to the Model Lady Blue Devils.
Williamson checking back in for Rome.
Well, we've got 6:08 remaining in the second quarter of this game. Halftime and 2 more quarters, and then after that, 1 more game, and the 69th annual Seven Hills Rotary Christmas Basketball Tournament is going to be in the books. Hard to believe it. Shinholster's got it at the top of the key. Backs up between the circles, fires it right. Burkhalter, no look for her. She starts to dribble, trying to get it down low, but the passing lanes are completely shut down underneath by this Rome defense. They pick it off again. They're back the other way. Brianna Griffin's got it. Now she goes between the circles, dribbles off to the left wing side, guarded by August Betts. They set a pick for Brianna, puts a little floater. That one rattles around the rim and off. A battle ensues for the rebound. Coming out with it is going to be Model. A foul's going to be charged against Rome, and they are going to get Seda Williamson. I've got her with 3 fouls. It's going to be the first team foul for Rome here in the quarter, and one of the rule changes in recent years is they reset the fouls instead of after every half, after every quarter. A team gets to 6 fouls. Other teams in the bonus, when they get to 8, then it's the double bonus. Shinholster down to Sadie Rotten, leaves it off for Morgan Wood on the left wing side, dribbles up towards the top of the key. They feed it, or try to August Betts, but yet again, the lane is shut down. Rome gets another turnover, and here they are on the other side of the floor. They're going to pass it outside, no look there. They'll dribble in, trying to back her way in. They kick it out, and that is a traveling called right in front of the official. 5:05 left to go here in the second quarter. Rome leads it barely, 19-17. As we told you in the pregame, looked like this would be a really fun matchup here tonight, and it's proving to be true. Morgan Wood's got it. Some pressure here from Rome. They pass it to August Betts. She's across the center court stripe. Passes it to Burkhalter, loses the handle. It's going back to Rome. A bounce pass should be an easy run out. Defense gets back quick, but not quick enough. Jamiah Winston gets another easy layup. She's got 8 points, 21-17. Run out on the other side. A missed layup for Burkhalter. Here's a cross-court pass underneath. Couldn't quite handle it. They kick it out. There's a 3-point look. That's going to be off the rim. Sadie Rotten's there for the rebound. We got some transition basketball here about midway through the second quarter of the ball game. Rome 21, Model 17 with 4:31 left to go here in the second quarter. Sims is going to check back into the game for Julia Shinholster. We got a fast pace last few minutes of this ball game. These teams are really getting after it. Javia Samples takes the inbound pass, works around the pick as she goes across the center court stripe. Goes right to the basket, puts it up, misses. Ashanti Bowers picks up the rebound, bounces it to the right wing side. There's a good look at a 3-point shot, and she drills it. Javia Gooch with her first points of the game, and it's a 3-pointer, a 7-point lead now for Rome. The lob underneath the August Betts led her a little bit too much, and it goes out of bounds. It's coming back to Rome. Momentum shift is going back in Rome's favor. They lead at 24-17, a 7-point lead as more fans continue to file in. I mean, you're going to need a shoehorn to get anybody else in here in a few minutes. So if you're on your way, I'm not telling you to speed, but maybe walk fast when you park your car so you can get you a seat. Brianna Griffin with the ball, kicks it out to the right wing side, shakes off a defender, and travels. So that'll be a turnover for Rome. It's coming back to Model. Javia Samples is set to inbound the ball here for the Lady Blue Devils. Lady Blue Devils riding a 4-game win streak. You can say the exact same thing for Rome. And they're playing for a gold ball tonight, and you can tell it. Both of these teams really want the gold ball really bad. Another whistle by the official. That's going to be foul on Brianna Griffin. It's going to be her second personal foul of the game, second team foul for Rome of the second quarter. 3:35 left to go here in the second. And it's 24-17 in favor of Rome. Model will inbound the ball. They get it into Javia Samples. She is going to be tied up between two defenders and is going to turn the ball over. So it's coming back to Rome. We're glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ and on the live video stream produced by Northwest Georgia Media. Always enjoy partnering up with Nathan and his crew. We always have a tremendous amount of fun putting these broadcasts together for everybody. Real pleasure to work with all of them. Across the timeline goes Ashanti Bowers, loses the handle, but retains possession. Here's Mariah Griffin, tries to pass it down low. Pass is picked off. Good hands by Briley Sims for Model. They're on the other side, losing control. The ball goes out of bounds. And one of the things that Model's trying to do is trying to keep up with this pace that Rome is able to keep, and it's forcing them to turn the ball over. Bowers is going to bring it up the floor here for the Rome Lady Wolves. They're across the timeline. She dribbles to the top of the key, and that is a turnover. So it's coming back to Model with 3:04 left to go in the second quarter of play. Substitution into the game here for the Model Lady Blue Devils. Rachel Burkhalter checks in for Sadie Rotten. So now on the floor for Model, you've got Pointer, Sims, Wood, Burkhalter, and Samples. And for Rome, you've got Jeremiah Winston, also Caitlin McAvoy, Brianna Griffin, Ashanti Bowers, and a shot off the glass is in by Pointer for the Model Lady Blue Devils. That cuts it to a 5-point ball game, 24-19 with 2:40 left here to go in the first half. Long 3-point look on the other side, left that one short. Rebound goes to Model. They're going to pass it cross court to Rachel Burkhalter, who's on the left wing side. Tosses it over to Morgan Wood. Now up to Javia Samples. She'll dribble in towards the lane, puts it towards the rack, nope, that's going to be a traveling call against Samples, and a turnover for Model as a substitution comes into the game for Rome. And sometimes I kind of hesitate when I start to read the names, but both teams have players with hair that goes over their numbers. If they're turned to where I'm in their back, sometimes I can't catch the number. Here comes Rome on the other end, right into the paint, laying it off the glass. It's going to be Winston. She's fouled. Didn't make the shot, but she's going to the free throw line for the first time here of the basketball game. So Jeremiah Winston going to the charity stripe with 2:18 left to go in the second quarter. Rome leading this one 24-19, a 5-point lead over the Model Lady Blue Devils. Shots on the way. It is going to rattle off the rim. Mentioned to you earlier that Rome has won the last 2 gold balls, looking for a three-peat tonight. Well, folks, a timeout on the floor. We're going to take one as well. 24-19, Rome with the lead over Model in the girls' gold ball game. 2:18 left to go in the second quarter. Let's take a 30-second break. Well, folks, we welcome you back into Barry's Cage Center. We'll go ahead and tell you who the 2 leading scorers in the game are right now. Jeremiah Winston with 8 points for Rome, and Brianna Griffin for Rome also has 8 points. Jeremiah would score 11 points against Darlington in their semifinal game. Meanwhile, Brianna would have 14 points. So I don't think it surprises anybody that they're the two leading scorers in the basketball game up to this point. But at the free throw line is Jeremiah Winston, and the first free throw is on the way, and it rattles off the rim, so she won't get ready for another one. Model's got the basketball heading the other way, and they are fouled. That's going to be against Rome's, I believe, Jeremiah Winston. It's going to be her first of the game. Riley Sims is going to toss it into the backcourt here for Model as they bring it up the floor. Javia Samples has got it. She goes between two defenders, gives it off for Rachel Burkhalter, kicks it out to Morgan Wood. Open three-point look, and she drains it. Morgan Wood for three. She's got 5 points in the game. That's her first bucket of the second quarter. It's 24-22. A three-pointer on the other side. Nothing but net. Mariah Griffin now with 5 points, and Rome's got a 27-22 lead. So just like that, back to a 5-point lead. Whistle and a foul charged against Samples on the other side of the floor. That goes against Model. No, that was not on Samples. That was on Rome. That was on Mariah Griffin. I saw him throw up the 24. But Samples will toss it in. With it now is Morgan Wood. She drives towards the lane. She's going to pass it out to the right wing side to a wide-open Burkhalter, in and out on the three-point attempt. Long rebound for Pointer. It goes back to Burkhalter for another three-point attempt, and this time she is dialed in. She connects. Rachel Burkhalter with 4 points, and it's a 2-point ball game. 27-25, 119. Model Lady Blue Devils hanging tough as a AA school against the 6A Rome Lady Wolves, who have won the last two gold balls. Going into the paint was Brianna Griffin. Ball's knocked loose. Is picked up off the floor by Model. That'll be a Rome turnover. Model Lady Blue Devils bring it across the center court stripe. They bounce it down low to Pointer. Turn. She off the rim. Rome's got the rebound. Here comes Gooch. Cross-court pass is intercepted by Javia Samples. She'll slow it up, gives it off to Morgan Wood as Coach Eccles tells her young ladies to slow it up a little bit. There's a foul that's going to be charged against Jeremiah Winston, her second of the game. And we'll get ready for Rachel Burkhalter to inbound the ball here in just a couple of moments with 40. Model trailing by 2 to Rome. This is the girls' gold ball game. This is exactly what you expect from a matchup in a game like this. There's Briley Sims. Shots off the side of the backboard. She was fouled in the act of shooting. We're going to see her go to the free throw line. So Briley Sims going at the free throw line. That was against Caitlin McAvoy. It was her first personal of the game. 16th foul. So now Model's in the bonus for the remaining 36.6 seconds here of the first half. Sims misses the first free throw. She gets ready for her second free throw. As Morgan Wood and Javia Samples just got instructions from Sally Eccles. Second free throw is missed. Here comes Rome up the other end of the floor. They'll kick it out. There's a long three-point attempt. That one's a little bit off the mark. Rebound taken by Brianna Griffin. She'll back up and set up the half-court offense here for Rome with 20 seconds left to go here in the half. Brianna Griffin drives towards the lane. A kind of a wild shot towards the rim. Rebound's going to be taken by Model, and a foul's going to be charged. Reaching in, I believe they got Mariah Griffin with that one. And the ball's going to stay with Model. They get ready to inbound the basketball here in a few moments with 11.3 seconds left on the clock. Rather, they're in the bonus. I mentioned to you that just a few minutes ago. So we're going to see a free throw, 1-and-1, coming up here for Javia Samples. Samples puts up the free throw, and that one banks in. She'll get ready for her second. Now it's a 2-point ball game, 27-25. She makes this one, it's going to be a 1-point game. Shot on the way. That's in and out. Rebound's going to be taken by Rome. They try to pass cross court. It's picked off. Model's got it off the glass. Won't go. There's Griffin. Brianna gets the rebound. She's across center court. Heaves it towards the basket at the buzzer. And she can't connect. So that's the end of the first half. At the end of the first half, Rome 27, Model 26. It's a 1-point ball game at halftime. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute timeout. We'll come back and recap the first half and run down the scoring when we come back on WLAQ and the Northwest Georgia Media live stream. We're back in 3.
Once again, the scorebook scored.
Welcome you back into the beautiful Berry College campus and the Cage Center. Matt Davis with play-by-play story here of the championship games of the 69th annual Seven Hills Rotary Christmas Basketball Tournament here on WLAQ and the Northwest Georgia video stream. And do want to take another opportunity to recognize the camera folks and all the crew involved in the video tonight. Grayson Atkins and Kayla Bice on the cameras. On scoreboard and graphics tonight, Uta Patterson. Director and replay is Nathan Patterson. And then as far as the radio coverage goes, we've got Lenny B back at the studio. Lynn Butler, who always does a fantastic job for us. I know he's going to be worn out after tonight. And so, Lynn, why don't we just take the night off tomorrow night? But I appreciate you and everything you do for us, man, and hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas, and everybody out there in Radio Land and Video Land, that you all have a Merry Christmas as well. Well, let's talk about the first half, folks. It was a great first half by both teams. You would have Rome outscoring Model 17-12 in the first quarter, and then Model will return the favor in the second quarter, outscoring Rome 14-10. So we got a one-point ball game. Our score at halftime, Rome 27, Model 26. Now here's the scoring in terms of individual efforts for each team. We'll start with Model. You'd have 3 points for Julia Shinholster, 2 for Briley Sims, 4 for Rachel Burkhalter, 5 for Morgan Wood, 2 points for August Betts, 4 points for Ava Pointer, Javia Samples with 3, and Sadie Rotten with 3. And so with that said, you've got 8 players who scored in the first half of play for Model. And what does that spell? That spells team basketball. So a great team effort from Model there in the first half. Played really good offensively and defensively as well. I know Sally Eccles has got to be super happy with the performance that she got from her team and the teamwork she got there in the first half. And the same thing exactly can be said for the Rome Lady Wolves. Head coach Thomas McAvoy. Again, Rome would score 17 points in the first quarter, 10 in the second quarter. There would be 8 points for Jeremiah Winston, 3 points for Javiah Gooch, 3 for Ashanti Bowers, 8 points for Brianna Griffin, and 5 points for Mariah Griffin. So you had 5 players in the scorebook there for the Rome Lady Wolves in the first half. So both teams playing great team ball, and it's a great atmosphere and environment for basketball tonight. And the first half was just a real pleasure to watch. So really looking forward to the exciting second half of this basketball game, and it's coming up in about 4 minutes and about 20 seconds. Now, as we turn our attention a little bit to the boys' game, we'll give you a little preview of that matchup, and then we'll take a final break as we get ready for the second half. But the second game of the night, and for the boys' gold ball, it's going to be the Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils. These two teams would face off in just a classic last year. Darlington Tigers would win a nail-biter. So you've got Model coming into the game looking to exact some revenge. You've got, of course, the Darlington Tigers who are looking to go back-to-back for the first time since the 05-06 seasons. And I tell you, man, that game, I wouldn't even begin to predict who's going to win the game. I think it's just going to be another great game like we've got here in our first matchup. So don't go anywhere, folks. We got a lot of great basketball action coming up for you on the live video stream and radio coverage as well. Well, let's take a break, folks. We're glad to have you with us tonight on WLAQ AM 1410, 96.9 FM. Online audio only at WLAQ1410.com and the Northwest Georgia Media YouTube channel. And with that said, let's send it back to the studio for a 3-minute break. We're at halftime. Rome 27, Model 26 in the girls' gold ball game. We're back for the second half in 3 minutes. Rome will open up with possession of the ball as we have officially started the second half of the girls' championship game. There's Griffin off the glass, misses the shot. Here's the putback. That one's going to rattle in. And Sadie Williamson picks up her first basket of the game. Rome's now out to a 3-point lead, 29-26. They pick up the first points here of the second half. Burkhalter for three. This would tie it up, leaves it a little bit short. Gets her own rebound, a long rebound for Burkhalter. Now on to Shinholster on the left wing side. Morgan Wood will set up the half-court offense here for Model. Sadie Rotten with the basketball, picks up her dribble, gets a little bit of help from Shinholster, who backs up and resets here for Model. She'll try to heave it down low to Wood. The ball's going to be tied up. Possession arrows pointing Model's way, so it's going to stay on this end of the floor. Model's working from left to right. If you're listening on the radio, if you're watching on the video, well, you can see that clearly in HD. Rachel Burkhalter tosses it into Morgan Wood. Ball's poked loose by Rome. They're going to come up with it. Ashanti Bowers has got the basketball, loses the handle, but Brianna Griffin picks it up and goes towards the right wing side, goes between two defenders, and that's an offensive foul. This is coming back to the late. Brianna Griffin picks up her third foul, I believe. 7:03 left to go here in the third quarter. Player control foul, as you probably heard over the PA. Coach Eckel sends in the play call to the Model Lady Blue Devils. Morgan Wood with the basketball, dribbles off to the left wing side. Now feeds it out to Julia Shinholster. She dribbles between the circles, now to the top of the key, picks up her dribble, feeds it off to Rachel Burkhalter, bangs into one of the defenders of Rome, and that is going to be an offensive foul against Rachel Burkhalter. It's going to be her first foul of the game, and Rome's going to bring it out. Ashanti Bowers will trot up the floor with it. Well, actually walking it up the floor, rather. Slowly goes across the center court stripe, being guarded by Morgan Wood, who picks her up right across the stripe, right into the paint, puts it up, misses the shot. Ball's poked loose. Model's got it. Nope. Diving for it's going to be Griffin. Now Rome's got it on the other end, putting it up, and the foul's going to be charged against Model. Jeremiah Winston's going to go to the stripe. Be on August Betts, picks up her second personal foul of the game, and go into the free throw line again. We'll mention to you Jeremiah Winston. Shot is on the way, and that one rattles around the rim, and it will not fall. Winston gets ready for her next free throw. Rome leading at 29-26 with 6:19 left to go in the third quarter. She knocks down the second free throw. Model brings it out. Morgan Wood passes it cross court to Julia Shinholster. Wide open three, and she drills it. Julia Shinholster now with 6 points in the game. That's going to cut it to a 1-point game again. 30-29. That's where we were at the half, a 1-point game. Shanti Bowers, the feed off to the left wing side. And Jeremiah Winston's going to leave it off for Brianna Griffin, guarded by Julia Shinholster. Shinholster chases Brianna Griffin, who goes into the paint and lays it in. Griffin now with 10 points, and Rome with a 32-29 3-point lead with 5:40 left to go in the third quarter. Across the timeline goes Wood. Leaves it off for Shinholster. Feeds it onto the left wing side. The ball is poked loose, and it goes out of bounds. And it's coming back to Rome. It was last touched by Model. They tried to save it. Shinholster on the sidelines couldn't quite catch up to it. And Rome will toss it into Ashanti Bowers, who's going to bring it up the floor. Bowers walks it up the floor. Morgan Woods waiting across the center court stripe for her. Sub set to come into the game here at the next stoppage of play for Model. There's a little runner. Shot is up and missed. The putback won't fall, but a ball's back in the hands of Rome. A 3-point shot in and out. There's Shinholster for the long rebound. She'll bring it up the floor pretty quickly here for the Model Lady Blue Devils. The feed down low to Burkhalter. Bounce pass down low to Betts. Can't get the finish she was looking for. And a foul's going to be charged by Model. I believe they got Shinholster with that one. Yes, they did. As Rome was coming back the other way with it. So we're at the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Rome leads it by 3, 32-29. Couple substitutions in the game here for Model. Checking in, you've got Pointer as well as Samples. So right now you've got Pointer, Samples, Burkhalter, Betts, and Wood on the floor for Model. For Rome, you've got Brianna Griffin, Sada Williamson, Ashanti Bowers, Griffin with the runner, missed the shot. Rebound went to McAvoy, who's also on the floor, and Jeremiah Winston's on the floor for Rome. So that's everybody that's out there right now. Foul's going to be charged against Model. They're going to get Javia Samples with that one, her first personal of the game. And Rome at the free throw line. Mariah Griffin puts up the shot. No, that's not Mariah. That's Caitlin McAvoy. Misses the first free throw. She'll get ready for her second. Mariah Griffin checks into the basketball game. Checking out is Ashanti Bowers. Also checking in for Rome, Javiah Gooch. Leaving the game currently is Seda Williamson. Now McAvoy with one more free throw here of this pair. Rome leading it by 3. Shot on the way, make it 4. She makes the second of the pair, misses the first. So the score moves to 33-29, a 4-point Rome lead with 4:45 left in the third quarter. Across the timeline goes Burkhalter. Feeds right to Javia Samples. Samples will pick up her dribble, fires it into Betts, who drives the lane, loses the handle, and that's going to be a foul. It's going to be charged against Rome. I believe they got McAvoy on that one. Picks up her second foul of the game. That'll be the third here for Rome, so 3 more, and Model's going to be in the bonus here in this third quarter. Javia Samples surveys the floor, looks to feed it in. Bounce pass out to the right wing side to Betts, who drives the lane, puts it up and scores. August Betts now with 4 points. It's 33-31, a 2-point ball game. Brianna Griffin is going to bring it up the floor here for the Rome Lady Wolves. She dribbles off to the right wing side, being guarded by Samples. Loses the handle for a second. That's going to be a turnover. And now it's coming back to Model. So Model's got an opportunity with this possession to either tie or take the lead. Morgan Wood tosses it into the backcourt to Samples, right back to Wood. She'll bring it across the center court stripe. Now it's going to kick it out the left wing side, and Javia Samples. Samples dribbles to the top of the key. Now leaves it off for Wood on the right wing. Quick look at a 3. That one's going to be left short. Bounces over the rim. Rebound's going to go to Rome. They keep bounds on the far sidelines, working right to left. Brianna Griffin's got it across the timeline. The feed off to the left wing side. Now they'll dribble back towards the top of the key. A kick out. Fakes off a defender, puts up the shot. That's way off the mark and goes out of bounds. It's coming back to the Model Lady Blue Devils. 3:41 left to go in the game. Rome leads it by 2, 33-31. Sadie Rotten getting set to check back into the game here for Model. Pointer down low, takes the pass, misses the layup. Ball is going to be tipped out of bounds by Rome, so it's staying with Model as Rotten checks into the basketball game. August Betts is going to take a breather. Set to inbound the ball is Rachel Burkhalter. So Burkhalter set to trigger it in motion, but not before a substitution for Rome as Seda Williamson checks in for McAvoy. Rachel Burkhalter bounce pass inside to Javia Samples off the inbound pass, feeds it right back to Burkhalter, who dribbles, kicks it to Pointer at the free throw line at the high post, trying to get it down low to Pointer. She cut towards the basketball's picked off. Here goes Rome, coast to coast, off the glass and in. Jeremiah Winston knocks it home. And here comes Model back the other way. Javia Samples with it with 3:08 left to go here in the third quarter. Model trailing by 4. Samples tries to lob it into Pointer. The pass is picked off. Getting her hands in there is Jeremiah Winston. Winston feeds it off the left wing side. Wide open 3. That one's left a little bit short. Rolls over the rim. Here is a putback attempt. Miss, but she's going to the charity stripe. So Gooch does a good job there for Rome, drawing the contact and getting herself to the free throw line. Gooch so far in this game, the senior, has 3 points. This is her first trip to the stripe in the basketball game. Rome leads it by 4 points. 35-31 is your score with 2:49 left to go in the third quarter. That one's going to bang hard off the back of the rim. She cannot connect on the first free throw. Gets ready for the second. Checking in for Model, Briley Sims, and also Tamaya Ragland. Burkhalter and Rotten will check out. One more free throw coming up for Gooch. Shot is on the way, and that one's right through. So the score moves to 36-31, a 5-point lead here for Rome Rome. 2:45 left to go in the third quarter. Model brings it across the center court stripe. Dribbling off to the left wing side is Morgan Wood. Now she'll fire it underneath. A crisp pass to Pointer, who's able to get the finish. Ava Pointer now with 6 points, and it's 36-33. So the freshman paying dividends off the bench here for Model. There's a look on the other end, missed by Mariah Griffin, but she draws the contact and is going to the stripe. Sally Eccles protesting the call, didn't like it one bit. And you can hear over the crowd mic the Model fans protesting as well. Here's the first free throw, and that one's through. So Mariah Griffin gets ready for her second. That increases the lead to 4 here for Rome. 37-33 is your score with 2:25 left, and Mariah Griffin with one more free throw, which is in the air now. That one rattles out. Rebound taken by Javia Samples. Picks up her dribble, needs some help. Ball's poked loose. A battle for it on the floor. It rolls away from a couple players. Coming up with it is Ragland. And a timeout is going to be called by Sally Eccles, and she got the timeout in time. Little bit of discussion between officials. We won't take the timeout down the line just yet. We'll see. Yep, they're saying she got the timeout off. So we're going to take one as well. Rome is leading at 37-33, a 4-point lead over Model in the girls' ball game. Let's step out for 30 seconds on WLAQ and the Northwest Georgia Media live stream. Ball's poked loose by Rome, but it stays with Model. Javia Samples has got it. Dribbles towards the top of the key. Tries to bounce it into Pointer. Passing lane is blocked. Here comes Rome on the other end. Bowers tries to bounce it down low to Seda Williamson. They lose control of the ball, and it goes out of bounds. It's coming back to Model. Got a little bit of ahead of themselves. Tamaya Ragland, the feed into Morgan Wood. Wood will trot up the floor, dribbling the basketball across the center court stripe. Leaves it off for Tamaya Ragland. Now on to Briley Sims. The feed back to Ragland. Turns, tries to get it towards the rack. The ball's going to be stolen away by Rome. Here's Brianna Griffin. She's across the stripe. Drives towards the lane. Ball is poked loose by Model. Sims has got it. She's across the timeline. Here come the Lady Blue Devils. 2-on-1. And that's going to be a turnover for Model. The ball went out of bounds as Briley Sims was trying to draw the contact in front of the official. Mariah Griffin checks into the game here for Rome. Glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ. I just realized that I didn't plug in my laptop, so I'm going to have to fix that real quick so we don't go off the air on the radio. Going to be a whistle and a jump ball. Rome is going to keep the ball. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, but that's all right. I'm up for a challenge today. Rome will inbound the ball. It's going to be stolen away. Briley Sims heads back the other way with it here for Model. They're going to try to feed it to the right wing side. They lose control of the basketball, and it goes out of bounds. So it's coming back to Rome. Hopefully I'm going to get this in the nick of time. Certainly don't want to go off the air. Just a little oversight on my part. Here come the Rome Lady Wolves. As they bring it out, they kick it out to the right wing side. Griffin with it, goes in, loses the handle, picked up by Morgan Wood. And I just avoided disaster just in time. Model across the timeline, ball is loose. Morgan Wood comes up with it, and that's going to be a whistle that goes against Model. So it's coming back to Rome. 37-33 is your score. A 4-point ball game. Rome with the lead, with 50 seconds left to go on the clock as Rome gets ready to inbound the basketball. They're going to feed it in to Jeremiah Winston. Winston dribbling just across the timeline, kind of between the circles. Now goes to the top of the key. loses the handle, but it's going to be picked up by Gooch. Rome into the paint, shot up, it's blocked. I believe that was Pointer that got her hand on it. Across the timeline go the Lady Blue Devils. Going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow this time is going to be pointing towards Model's side of the floor, so the Model Blue Devils get ready to inbound the basketball, trailing by 4 points. Model's been hanging in there, but just haven't been able to get over the hump. Briley Sims set to inbound the ball here for the Lady Blue Devils with under 30 seconds to play here in the third quarter of the basketball game. Briley Sims with it, gets down low and shoots and scores. Briley Sims now with 4 points in the basketball game. That cuts it to a 2-point ball game. Shot clock is off with 14 seconds left to go now in the third quarter of the game. Rome's going to slow it up. Looks like they're going to try for the last shot here of the third quarter with a 2-point lead, 37-35. With it is Winston, puts up the shot from the free throw line, leaves it short. It goes out of bounds with 0.4 seconds left to go on the clock. So barely enough time for Model to inbound the ball. I don't even think they've got time to heave it at the basket with that much time left, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter. So the end of the third quarter, Rome 37, Model 35 here in the girls' gold ball game at the 69th annual Seven Hills Rotary Christmas Basketball Tournament. We're back in 1 minute for the final quarter. For the final 8 minutes of this contest, Rome will have a 2-point lead as they did at the end. Well, they had a 1-point lead at the end of the first half, rather, but they will have the basketball starting the final 8 minutes of the basketball game with possession of the ball. Brianna Griffin's got it at the top of the key, tries to work around a pick. Now to the right side they go to Bowers. She dribbles towards the low block, leaves it for McAvoy. They kick it back out. There's a 3-point look. That's off the mark, a little too strong, but the rebound is going to go to Rome. They'll retain possession of the basketball. There's the kick out. No look there. There's a corner three on the left wing side. That one's way too strong. Misses the rim. Rebound taken by Model. They lose the handle on it, though, and Rome's got it back underneath their own basket. Bowers with it, battling underneath. And that's going to be a whistle and a blocking foul that's going to be charged against the Model Lady Blue Devils. At the end of the first quarter, it was Rome 17-12. At the end of the first half, it was Rome 27-26. And at the end of the third quarter, it was Rome 37-35. And that's where we are now, about 40 seconds in to the final quarter of the basketball game. Ball was nearly tied up, but they're going to call it out on Model. So Rome gets set to inbound the basketball with 7:18 left to go in the ball game. They're going to toss it into Brianna Griffin. She looks off to Coach McAvoy to get some instructions there. 20 seconds left on the shot clock for the Rome Lady Wolves, leading it by 2 points, and they're going to hold the ball here every second of it, it looks like. Now Brianna Griffin starts to move with it, dribbles off to the right wing side, goes towards the top of the key, gives it to Bowers, who drives towards the lane, loses the handle. Model comes out with it. Morgan Woods got it. She'll bring it up the floor for the Model Lady Blue Devils, fires to the left wing side. Now back out to Morgan Wood, who dribbles to the top of the key, kicks it out to Rachel Burkhalter. Into the paint she goes to August Betts, who's triple team. Ball's knocked loose, and Brianna Griffin comes out with it. Rome Lady Wolves bringing it up the floor with a 2-point lead. They fire it over to the left wing side. Dribbling back up top with it as Winston goes in, lays it off the glass. Nobody's able to pick her up. She's got 13 points, leads all scorers in the basketball game. Rome now with a 4-point lead with 6:20 left to go in the ball game. Morgan Wood dribbles to the top of the key. Fires it to the right wing side, inside to August Betts. Ball gets away from her. It's picked up by Brianna Griffin. Rome's going to bring it up the floor. Across the timeline goes Brianna. Almost slipped on the floor. She's got the ball, goes towards the paint, kicks it out, left wing side, long three, bounces high off the rim. Rebound taken by August Betts. She'll clear out the lane, and she just absolutely looks gassed. Both these teams giving every ounce of energy they have to this basketball game. They're going to be worn out when it's over. She holster into the paint. Nobody picked her up, but she missed a layup and a jump ball. Well, I think we're going to see a foul, actually. Officials have a little bit of a conversation. Yeah, Shinholster is going to be charged with the foul. Substitutions into the game for the Lady Blue Devils. Checking in, Ava Pointer, also Javia Samples. So on the floor right now for Model, you're going to have Ava Pointer, August Betts, Rachel Burkhalter, Javia Samples, and Morgan Wood. For Rome, you're going to have Seda Williamson, Ashanti Bowers, Javia Gooch, Jeremiah Winston, and then Caitlin McAvoy. So that should cover everybody on the floor right now. There's a little runner in and out for Rome, but a foul's going to be charged, and it looks like we're going to see Ashanti Bowers going to the free throw line here for the Rome Lady Wolves with an opportunity to try to create a little bit of cushion here as we're moving through the fourth quarter. Rome has won the last two gold balls, so if they win this one, it'll be a three-peat. And standing at the free throw line, it's Ashanti Bowers. Shot is on the way, and that is through. She'll get ready for her second free throw of the pair. It's 40-35, a 5-point lead for Rome. And it really feels like right now the momentum is in Rome's favor. Riley Sims checks into the game for Rachel Burkhalter for the Model Lady Blue Devils. One more free throw coming up here for Ashanti Bowers. Really important free throw here. Shot is on the way. That one rattles off the rim. Rebound taken by August Betts. Tries to give it to Sims. Ball's poked loose. It's loose on the floor, and we are going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to point Model's way, so it's coming back to the Blue Devils. Got 5:30 left to go in the ball game. Model trailing by 5 points. 40-35 is your score. So the Blue Devils will feed it in. They get it to Morgan Wood. Morgan Wood will dribble up the floor with it. Goes across the center court stripe. Passes off to the right wing. They try to go inside to Javia Samples. Ball is going to be tied up. Another jump ball. This time it's coming back to Rome, so essentially a turnover. Jeremiah Winston is set to trigger it in for the Rome Lady Wolves. It's standing room only officially here inside the Cage Center, as you would expect here for the final night of the Christmas tournament. And it's been a good one. They've had excellent crowds every single night. I was talking to some folks from the Seven Hills Rotary, and they said that the first round, the very first night of the tournament, they had a bigger gate than they remember having for the tournament. Baseline dribble, they kick it out. Good ball movement for Rome, creates a wide open three, but the shot was left short. The putback is going to fall. Winston knocks it down. She's got 15 points, and now Rome's starting to create a little bit of separation here on the scoreboard. 42-35, and a well-timed timeout for Sally Eccles as she tries to prepare her team for the final less than 5 minutes of the game. So with a timeout on the floor, Rome leads it 42-35, a 7-point lead over Model here in the girls' gold ball game. Let's step out for 30 seconds. Glad to be with you tonight as the Model Lady Blue Devils and the Rome Lady Wolves battling for the gold ball here in the Girls Championship. And I was talking on the radio this morning on our morning show about how at the end of these games, and this goes for the girls and the boys games, you're going to have tears of joy and tears of despair, and you can't have one without the other. And that's one of the things that makes this tournament so special. It's not that you want to see people suffer and cry, but it just shows you how much it means to them to hoist the gold ball at the end of this tournament. It is such a big deal. These kids really, really care about this, as well as the community. Morgan Woods got the basketball. She dribbles, kicks it out to Sadie Rotten, goes in, leaves it off for Pointer, shots up and in. Ava Pointer, and that's going to cut it to a 5-point ball game, 42-37. Rome on top with 4.5 minutes left to go here in the game. Coast to coast on the other end, Brianna Griffin goes in, tries to lay it in, misses the shot, but there was a whistle, so we're going to see Griffin going to the free throw line. Foul's going to be on Sadie Rotten, picks up her second personal foul of the game. That was fourth team foul here for Model. Rome has had 0 fouls here in the first half, nearly first half of the fourth quarter. Brianna Griffin at the free throw line, getting ready to shoot. First shot on the way, and that one is in and out. She'll get ready for her second free throw. She gets a hand from teammate, a little bit of encouragement there before her second free throw from Jeremiah Winston. So Brianna Griffin standing up there with one more free throw. This will give her team a 6-point lead if she can knock it through. Shot on the way, and that one is through. So Brianna Griffin knocks down one of the pair. She now has 11 points in the ball game. Model with the ball on the other end. They're going to leave it off for Pointer. That's been a big part of their strategy here in this basketball game. Ball's knocked loose. Here's Bowers. Can anybody catch her on the other end? Yes. Javia Samples blocks the shot, and it was all ball, folks. Ball's knocked out of bounds, so it stays with Rome, but what a great effort as she gets down and blocks that shot. Javia Samples, man, what a great defensive effort. So the Wolves getting set to inbound the basketball with 4:07 left to go here in the ball game. Rome leads it by 6. Ashanti Bowers is going to toss it into Brianna Griffin. They'll work it off the left wing side. There's Bowers. The feed to McAvoy. Shot is going to clank off the back of the rim, but the rebound goes to Rome. It's going to stay with the Lady Wolves. Brianna Griffin's going to back up, and they'll set up their half-court offense. 18 seconds left to go here on the shot clock. 3:48 left to go in the ball game. Brianna Griffin tries to work around a screen, passes it away, down low, nobody picked her up. That's McAvoy knocking down her first field goal of the game. She's got 3 points, 45-37, now an 8-point lead here for Rome. Briley Sims with the basketball, ball poked loose. It's on the floor, picked up by Model, shot from the free throw line, and banking it in is Ava Pointer. The freshman now has 10 points in the ball game, and Sally Eccles is going to call a timeout. We're going to do the same thing. 3:21 left to go in the game. Model hanging tough. Rome still with the lead. 45-39 your score. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Christmas tournament, particularly when you get to the gold ball night. But if you're watching on the video stream, when they pan around the crowd, there is not an empty seat in the place. It is lined up full around the rafters. So if you're coming in, to watch the game, I hope you've got some pretty good height, because you're going to be standing. It's about 2 deep around the balcony here. But Ashanti Bowers takes the inbound pass for Rome. Rome with a 6-point lead will bring it up the floor. Bowers tries to lob it down to Williamson. It sails over her head and out of bounds. So an untimely turnover here for Rome, as Model left with a little bit of daylight with 3:09 left to go here in the game, only trailing by a couple of scores. Model down the other way with it. They give it off to Burkhalter. Back up top to Briley Sims. Sims with it. It's going to lead. Burkhalter to the basket. Shot is up. It is missed. A tie-up. as one of the Model players is flung to the ground by McAvoy. Possession arrow is going to point in Model's direction, though, so the ball is going to stay on this end of the floor with just under 3 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Rome looking for the three-peat tonight. Model looking for their first gold ball since 2018. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Rome. McAvoy's going to have it. She'll stop her dribble. Leaves it off for Brianna Griffin, who brings it across the center court stripe. Being guarded right now by Javius Samples. It looks like man coverage here from the Model Lady Blue Devils. Now back up top, they're going to go to Jeremiah Winston. Winston will kick it off to the right wing side. Now back around the left wing. There's a three-point look off the mark. Rattles off the rim. Model comes up with the rebound. Morgan Woods got the basketball. She's going to bring it up the floor. The rebound was taken by Pointer. Now they get it inside to Samples at the low block, shoots. That one rolls off the rim. Rebound's going to be taken by McAvoy, and Rome's going to pass it coast to coast. Dribbling down, they try to pass it on to Winston. She's got it on the right wing side, and a timeout's going to be called by Rome's head coach, Thomas McAvoy, so let's take one as well. Rome leads at 45-39 with 2:06 remaining here in the ball game. We'll step out for 30 seconds. Coverage of the 69th annual Seven Hills Rotary Christmas Basketball Tournament here on WLAQ and the Northwest Georgia Media live stream. There are 2 minutes and 6 seconds left on the clock until we watch one of these two teams hoist the gold ball. And with this amount of time left, there is time for Model here to get back into this basketball. And they've hung in it tight throughout the game, but Rome has never let them get over the hump. Both of these teams really battling for the gold ball tonight, but Rome has led it basically from wire to wire. Rome with the basketball across the timeline goes Brianna Griffin. Dribbles towards the right wing side. Griffin being guarded right now by August Betts. She will pass it off to Winston. Shot is on the way. Rattles off the rim. Rebound's taken by Betts. Sims is going to bring it up the floor. She'll be across the timeline. Now dribbles towards the paint. Leaves it off for Ragland. Or Samples, rather. Now Ragland. And they try to get it to Sims, but they lose the handle and the ball goes out of bounds. So it's coming back to Rome. So the Rome Lady Wolves set to inbound the ball. Jeremiah Winston, the sophomore, set to trigger it in. Brianna Griffin's waiting for the inbound pass with 1:36 left to go in the ball game. Going to have a lot of subs into the game here for Model. So on the floor right now for Model, you're going to have Betts, Samples, Wood, Rotten, and Burkhalter. For Rome, right now Ashanti Bowers has got the basketball. She'll dribble towards the paint, tries to pass it across the lane. It's picked off by Javius Samples. Samples has got it, trots up the floor with it, banks it off the glass, misses. Bowers is there trying to grab the rebound, and there's going to be a jump ball. Alternating possession is going to be with Rome, so Rome's set to inbound the basketball with 1:20 left to go in the game. And we'll get ready for Sadie Williamson to feed it in as Sadie Rotten checks out of the game here for Model. Briley Sims onto the floor here for the Lady Blue Devils. They toss it in, get it in to Jeremiah Winston. Winston with it over on the left wing side, dribbles with it, leaves it off for Brianna Griffin. She'll back up in between the circles, being guarded by Morgan Wood currently. Now off to the right wing side, and a timeout's going to be called by Coach McAvoy. So we got 1:07 left to go here in the ball game. Rome leading at 45-39. Timeout on the floor. Let's take a 30-second timeout down the line on WLAQ and Northwest Georgia Media. All right, folks, we welcome you back inside the Cage Center. Rome inbounds the ball. We're close to the 1 minute mark of this basketball game, with Rome leading it by 6 points over the Model Lady Blue Devils. There is Jeremiah Winston with the basketball for Rome, working around a pick. She goes across the baseline, feeds it out to her team out there. There's a three-point look. It is missed. Brianna Griffin has the long rebound for Rome. 22 seconds on the shot clock, 44.7 seconds left on the game clock. And that's going to be a foul against the Model Lady Blue Devils, Javia Samples. Samples picks up her second foul. It's going to be fifth team foul against Model. 0 fouls on Rome here in this final quarter of the basketball game. Another foul is going to be charged against Model. That's Briley Sims, who picks up her second personal foul. More subs into the game for Model. Checking in as Pointer. Also Rotten back into the game. Betts will check out, as well as Sims. Jeremiah Winston at the free throw line here for the Rome Lady Wolves. Get ready to shoot a couple of free throws. First one is on the way. This is 1-1, by the way. That one's going to rattle off the rim, so she won't get the back end. Rebound's going to be taken by Model. Burkhalter is going to lob it to Morgan Wood. She goes across center court stripe. She'll dribble between the circles, gives it to Samples. Wide open three, and that one's off the rim. 30 seconds. Model's had some opportunities, but they've been unable to capitalize here in the crucial moments of the game, late in the game. And Rome has been able to maintain a 6.2 possession lead for some time here in the fourth quarter, and that's going to be another foul charged against Model. They're going to get Sadie Rotten for her third foul. Going to have another timeout. Sally Eccles calls one for Model. 24.6 seconds left on the clock. We'll take one as well. Rome 45, Model 39. We'll come back for the final 25 seconds of the game after a 30-second timeout. All right, we welcome you back into live coverage of the 69th annual Seven Hills Rotary Christmas Basketball Tournament here on WLAQ, and also the Northwest Georgia Media live video stream on YouTube. There are 24.6 seconds left on the clock here in this basketball game. Rome has a 6-point lead, and they're going to the charity stripe. Caitlin McAvoy at the free throw line, getting ready for 1-1. So McAvoy at the stripe. One more Model foul, and Rome will be in the double bonus. Shot is on the way from McAvoy, and that one is through. She'll get a second shot. The back end of the 1-1 is coming up. So that's going to make it a 46-39 basketball game, a 7-point lead here for Rome. Model's been hanging tough, but they've just not been able to get over the hump against this Rome team. These are two good basketball teams. It's been a great game. Second free throw is through for McAvoy. That makes it an 8-point ball game. This one's going to be out of reach more than likely for Model. Morgan Woods got it, bounce pass underneath, and another pass into Pointer. She scores. Ava Pointer, 2 passes from Model. That was a great play, but it's probably too little too late. And the ball rolls away from Rome, knocked out of bounds. It's coming back to Model. 9.3 seconds left on the clock in a 2-possession basketball game. So this game's not completely over yet. Morgan Wood set to inbound the basketball. Her team trailing by 6. The feed into Javia Samples. Drives towards the lane, puts it up, and misses. Here's the putback for Pointer. She scores again. The freshman's having an unbelievable game, but that is the end of the basketball game. Your final score in the girls' championship, Rome is going to win it by a final score of 47-43. What a great championship basketball game that was. Congratulations to Thomas McAvoy and his Rome Lady Wolves They have gone 3 in a row. It's the three-peat for the Rome Lady Wolves. Well, folks, they're going to have a trophy presentation here in just a couple of moments, so stick around for that. But right now on the radio, we're going to take a 3-minute break. We'll come back and recap the game and give you the scoring from our first championship game of the night. The Rome Lady Wolves win it 47-43 over Model. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
This year's alternate selections include from Shizuka, Nakaya Parrish. From Pembroke, Morgan Willingham. From Unity Christian, Emily King. From Armucci, Jasmine Edwards. From Darlington, Jacka Johnson. From Run Model, Ada Pointer.
I got it.
Also from Model, number 14, Rachel Bernaldson. From Rome, number 4, Sarah Williamson.
I'll lock up middle.
Also from Rome, number 21, Brianna Griffin. And your 2022
floor, and we'll go ahead and give you the scoring from the basketball game. But the Lady Wolves just picking up their third gold ball in a row. It's the three-peat as they win over Model 47-43. So Rome is your winner in the girls bracket this year. And we'll go ahead and break down the scoring for Model. We'll start with Julia Shinholster, who would have 6 points in the game, 4 for Briley Sims, 4 for Rachel Burkhalter, 5 points for Morgan Wood, 4 points for August Betts, 3 for Javia Samples, 3 for Sadie Rotten, and the leading scorer tonight for Model was the freshman Ava Pointer, who would score 14 points. 8 of her points came in that fourth quarter as Model would hang tough against the Rome Lady Wolves, but come up short tonight by a final score again of 47-43. Meanwhile, the Rome Lady Wolves, they would pick up 4 points from Javiah Gooch, 2 points from Sada Williamson, 4 for Ashanti Bowers, 5 points for Caitlin McAvoy, 6 points for Mariah Griffin, 11 points for Brianna Griffin. And then the leading scorer tonight for Rome and overall was Jeremiah Winston, who had an unbelievable game tonight for the Lady Wolves, and she notched 15 points. So congratulations again to the Rome Lady Wolves and Thomas McAvoy as they pick up another gold ball, and that makes it 13 in team history. And obviously East Rome and West Rome combined, their first season was in 1992, and they picked up 12 since then, and they've now won 3 in a row, 2020, 2021, and 2022. So they get to hoist the gold ball right now, pose for a picture, and celebrate their victory tonight. So again, congratulations to Rome Lady Wolves. They win it 47-43 over the Model Lady Blue Devils. That's going to put a wrap on the broadcast here for the first game. But hang around, we got the boys game coming up in just a little bit. It's going to be the Darlington Tigers and the Model Blue Devils locking horns in the boys championship, and that is just going to be minutes away right here on WLAQ. So let's send it back to the studio for about a 4 or 5 minute timeout. We're glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ and also the live Northwest Georgia Media live stream. We'll be back in just a little bit.